So I think it was about 2 months ago when I made a video on this topic, and the reception it received was absolutely atrocious. I got accused of clickbaiting and, deceiving my followers and deceiving my subscribers. And to be honest, it was a terrible feeling because I never want to put out misinformation in my videos. And whenever I make a video on something, I truly feel like it's going to happen. And I usually provide empirical evidence for it happening. So when I say Aaron Rodgers will leave the Green Bay Packers, what I mean by that is, well, he says he sees himself leaving the Green Bay Packers, and this is according to an interview he's giving. So what's going on, guys? Your boy Mike here, and guys, we're about 1,500 subscribers away from hitting 100,000 subscribers on this channel. So if you love football, you want the greatest NFL content there possibly is to get, make sure to subscribe, turn my notifications on, and leave a like on this video. If you're not sold on me as a content creator yet, then just leave a like on this video just to help support the video that you're watching. Another thing is, guys, our next murder documentary, you guys have been asking for this, is going to be on Sean Taylor. However, it might take some time for us to produce this one. So in the meantime, we also are producing our very first NBA murder documentary on the murder of Lorenzen Wright. If you're interested in that, I'm going to leave a link to it in the description down below. It's on a completely separate channel. It's on my Flight Mike NBA channel. So be sure to go check it out. If you guys are a fan of the murder docuseries, then I'm sure you're going to like this one, especially if you're a basketball fan. Now that that's all out of the way, break! Mic check 1 2 1 2. Guys, I'm sure an overwhelming majority of you all know what the Green Bay Packers did this past offseason. And initially, I thought Aaron Rodgers was going to come out, be a little passive aggressive, be frustrated, and maybe take a couple of opportunities to throw shade at the Green Bay Packers when he got interviewed by the media. But to be honest, he has done none of that. And if you guys, for some reason, don't know what the story is, the Green Bay Packers had the 26th overall pick in the NFL draft. And we could all agree that Aaron Rodgers could definitely use some help in order to get the Green Bay Packers over the hump. Last year, they made it to the NFC Championship game, but the San Francisco 49ers completely overpowered them. And it definitely seemed like if the Green Bay Packers got a couple of more pieces on the offensive side of the ball, then Aaron Rodgers would potentially be able to will them all the way to a Super Bowl. And when you have number 12 under center, there's no doubt in my mind that there's a great chance that you can make it to a Super Bowl. But here's the thing. When the opportunity came for the Green Bay Packers to draft a wide receiver or draft Aaron Rodgers some additional help, they used their most valuable draft pick on his successor, Jordan Love, another quarterback. Now, the immediate response to this was, oh, how ironic. Aaron Rodgers came into the league when Brett Favre was still performing very, very well and had to sit behind him for 3 years. Many analysts immediately said that, hey, the same thing's probably going to happen with Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love. Aaron Rodgers has been on record saying that he wants to play well into his 40s. Jordan Love is still a young kid. He's going to have the opportunity to sit back and learn from one of the all-time greats. But Aaron Rodgers actually went on a podcast today, 10 Questions with Kyle Brandt, and this was actually posted on The Ringer originally. And he goes really in depth about what he thinks the future of his career is going to be and what he thinks is going to happen with his career. And, what's really interesting about this scenario is, for the first time, it sounds like Aaron Rodgers doesn't really have control over what's going to happen with his career. If you watch the way he performed last season, to give you an idea, last season, Aaron Rodgers still threw for over 4,000 yards, still at 62% completion percentage, threw for 26 touchdowns to 4 interceptions, which gave him a very low interception percentage of 0.7%. Now, I'm going to throw you guys some more advanced statistics than that because, well, we're better than that on this channel. So Aaron Rodgers ranks 5th in the league in his accuracy, with an accuracy of 77.1% according to QB Datamine. On top of that, he is ranked 22nd in the NFL out of all starting quarterbacks against the blitz. So whenever you get pressure on Aaron Rodgers, more likely than not, which is pretty easy to do considering the fact that his offensive line's fairly old, he is not nearly as effective. But Rodgers is still 6th in the league when he's running the play action, and he's top 20 when he's under the gun. So now that you guys get a basic understanding of where Aaron Rodgers is as a quarterback, for the most part, he's still a very, very good quarterback. In my opinion, easily a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. And he seems extremely motivated to continue his career moving forward. But I've said this, and I think I say this in like 60% of my videos. Guys, every time there's a brand new head coach and there's an excuse to move on from a quarterback, that head coach is going to take the opportunity to move on from the quarterback. And I believe that's what Matt LaFleur was doing with Jordan Love. Now that I gave you a nice little bit of background, I'm going to jump into this interview that Aaron Rodgers had on The Ringer, because there's a lot of stuff here that just makes you feel empathetic for Aaron Rodgers. So the very first question we get is Roger Goodell gets up there with the card, the commissioner, with the 26th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft. The Green Bay Packers select Jordan Love, quarterback, Utah State. What's your reaction?
Well, and I said this in the interview. I was, in a few weeks after that, I was definitely surprised. When they drafted up, I was watching the draft and thinking about which receiver might be there at that time, and I think there was a run on him there in the early 20s, and a kid from LSU who I loved watching went, I think, to Minnesota in the early 20s. I knew the kid from Clemson was still there, and I enjoyed watching him as well. I didn't know maybe as much about him, and the kid from Arizona State as well. I think they liked him, and his teammate was with us, Manny Wilkins, a quarterback. So when they traded up, I was definitely a little perked up a little bit. And then I got a text, because everything's so delayed. I got a text from my agent, marketing agent who I love, and he said, he just texted quarterback. And I was like, oh, wow, okay. So I love scotch, but I've been drinking some sipping tequila lately as well.
Right.
And once I got that text, I went to the pantry. I poured myself, about 4 fingers. And I knew it was going to be one of those nights where the people were going to start calling, and there's going to be, hey, everything fine? You okay? I'm like, yeah, fine. Like, I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't elated by the pick,
right,
especially being 1 game away from the Super Bowl and feeling like we're a couple players away. But at the same time, I understand it's business. I know that's a reality.
Aaron Rodgers responded, and I think he was very, very real with this response. So here's the part that I want to cut Rodgers off, because he transitions into drawing parallels between when he was drafted by the Green Bay Packers and was supposed to succeed Brett Favre, and comparing it to how Jordan Love is supposed to succeed him.
But I will say, I definitely, as much as people want to make parallels to certain things, in 2004, the Packers were 10-6 and lost in the first round of the playoffs. We were 13-3, and 1 game from the Super Bowl, won a playoff game at home. Obviously, won our division. A little different circumstance. Not to mention that Brett had talked about retiring for a few years before that. So, and I've talked about playing in my 40s. So, when people start talking about the parallels to this and that, well, I felt at 24. They traded up and drafted Jordan. So, like, I see the parallels based on age for sure. And I think it was important for me to go through that experience to understand really what he's going through and what he's going to be thinking when we go through a season together. But yeah, that's basically it. I poured myself some tequila and FaceTimed and talked to a bunch of people that night. And the next day I called Jordan, because I just want to make sure he knew that, I know what he was thinking. I know what he was going through, and it's the last thing you want is to deal with any negativity around, like, realizing a childhood dream. So I just told him, congrats, man. I understand what you're going through, man. It's super exciting. I'm excited to work with you, which I am. I understand it's a business. I understand the nature of the business, and not here advocating my spot by any means. That's not going to happen. But I understand how the business works, and that's basically what happened.
In my rookie season in 2004, the Packers were 10-6 and lost in the first round of the playoffs. Now, if you were to compare that to Aaron Rodgers last season, the Packers were 13-3 and 1 game away from the Super Bowl. Won a playoff game at home, obviously won our division, so you can see there's some different circumstances there. Not to mention that Brett Favre had talked about retiring for a few years before that, but this is where it gets really crazy, and I'm going to leave a link to this Kyle Brandt interview because it's absolutely worth you reading it. Brandt then asks him, so when you're sitting around just over the last few months, scotch, tequila, whatever, at some point there's a ridiculous decision that needs to be made. Because if you're just you and you can stay healthy, the team either has to choose, we're going to move on from Aaron Rodgers, which sounds nuts, or we're just not going to play our first round draft pick.
So when you're sitting around just over the last few months, scotch, tequila, whatever, at some point there's like a ridiculous decision that has to be made. Because if you're just you and you can stay healthy, the team has to either choose about we're going to move on from Aaron Rodgers, which sounds nuts, or we're just not going to play our first round draft pick. How does this end?
I think probably the former. I think probably the former. I think that's probably what happens. Based on just the circumstances around everything. You look at the facts. They traded up, they drafted him. I would say they like him. They want to play him. It's a different environment. In 2005, my first year we were 4-12. Second year we were 8-8. There wasn't a clamoring, to play me because it was normal for young guys to sit. In the third year, 2007, we go 13-3. We're one play, we're overtime in the NFC Championship, playing at home against the Giants from going to the Super Bowl. Different scenario. Now I think quarterbacks are playing earlier. It gives some latitude for young coaches and GMs to play their guys. And I get it. I really do. I don't harbor any ill will about it. Like, was I bummed out? Of course. It wouldn't be. I wanted to play my entire career in Green Bay. I love the city. I grew up there. Really, got there when I was 21. I'm 36 now. A lot changes during that time. But look, I get it. I see it completely clearly, and I'm not bitter about it. It just kind of is what it is.
He continues on comparing Jordan Love's situation to his own, and I think this is really important for us to acknowledge as NFL fans, because he is right, and I didn't really acknowledge this before he said it. So the main points he makes here, I completely agree with. Aaron Rodgers was considered to be a steal in the 2005 NFL draft. A lot of people forget that Aaron Rodgers was considered to be a potential number 1 overall pick. Imagine a potential number 1 overall pick being there for you to take in the mid-20s. You can't really pass up on that. Whereas Jordan Love is considered to be more of a developmental project quarterback that the Green Bay Packers felt like, hey, this guy could fit into our system. We're going to trade up and get him for when Aaron Rodgers is ready to leave us or for when his career kind of falls off. And I could understand how Aaron feels because he's watching Tom Brady playing into his mid-40s and he's thinking to himself, hey, I could do that. What's really crappy about this, in my opinion, is Tom Brady went to 4 Super Bowls from the ages of 36 to 43, and Aaron Rodgers is 36 right now. Tom Brady won 3 of those Super Bowls and won Super Bowl MVP as a 36 and a 38-year-old. Now, look, I'm not saying that Aaron Rodgers is destined to do that, but I do think he's capable of doing such a thing, and I do think the Packers were a little bit premature in drafting Jordan Love. You're not going to draft a first-round pick and just have him sit there throughout the duration of his rookie contract and not see what you have. Because whenever you draft a rookie quarterback, you have this beautiful opportunity to surround him with tremendous assets and bring in other players via free agency because you don't have to give your quarterback a massive contract. That's kind of what a lot of successful NFL teams do when they first get a very high upside rookie QB. And I don't think the Packers are just going to sit on Jordan Love just because they have Aaron Rodgers and let Jordan Love barely play throughout his rookie contract. That's just not smart salary cap management. If you ask me, I feel like the Packers really messed up. I think they were a little bit premature in drafting Jordan Love but that's my opinion. I want to get your guys' opinion. Do you agree with Aaron? Do you think he's absolutely destined to leave the Green Bay Packers? Do you think Jordan Love is going to replace him either this year or next year? I personally think within the next 2 years, Aaron Rodgers is going to be on a different NFL team, but I'd like to get your guys' opinion. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'll catch you guys in our next upload.